Hello there. Welcome back to Mathematical Literacy Grade 10. In this video, we're going to look at the question, and we are going to look at the typical examination question that we are going to look at. We are going to start on 4.1, whereby our question reads the graph below represents the relationship between the amounts each worker receives after sharing a payout of 12,000 rands for doing a particular job. So you are given a graph of workers sharing 12,000 rands. So we're given a graph whereby our vertical axis, we've got amount in rands, and our horizontal axis, we've got a number of persons. So beneath the graph that we are given the question section whereby it reads study the graph above and answer the following questions. 4.1.1, write down the type of proportion represented by on the graph. So our question is for 2 marks. So you would see that the type of proportion that we have on the graph, we have the relationship that is there between amount in rands and number of persons. And we are seeing that as the number of persons increase, uh, we are we are also noticing that the amount in rands is decreasing. So basically, there is an opposite movement of the two variables. When one of the variables increases, the other variable is decreasing, which shows a negative relationship. So basically, we are saying 4.1.1 requires us to write down the type of proportion we are having, and we are saying it's a negative uh, proportion that we have. So we got no answer section and present it as such by saying 4.1.1, and we are saying it's a in indirect proportion, or we can also call it an inverse proportion, indirect proportion. And we are saying you can also use the term inverse proportion, whereby we are saying the relationship between the two variables that is being depicted by the curve that we have there. It's a negative relationship. And also we can also call it an inverse relationship, which is in particular, according to the question, it requires us to select it from the point of view of a type of proportion, which we are saying it's an indirect proportion, or we can call it also an inverse proportion. So basically, that's what we have. We go to the second part of the question, 4.1.2. Choose which of the following will be the best to represent the graph above. Write down only the correct letter. So the first one is saying amount is equal to 12,000 rands over number of persons. The second one is saying amount is equal to 12,000 rands times number of persons. But if you look at the second one, we see that if the number of persons increase, we are also going to notice an increase in the amount, which is not correct, since we are saying it's an inverse proportion. But A represents an inverse proportion, whereby we are saying if the number of persons increase, it's going to reduce the amount balance that we have there. So it now depicts a an inverse proportion or negative proportion that we have, or we rather call it a indirect proportion. So basically, we have A as the correct response. So go to 4.1.3, give reason why the line of the graph is represented as a dotted line. So we see that according to our graph, we are having a dotted line. So the reason why we are having a dotted line is because the number of persons is discrete. So by being discrete, we are saying the numbers cannot be written in the form of decimals. So that's why we're having a dotted curve. So basically, we can just try to put it down in that context. We're saying 4.1.2. 0.3, so 4.1.3, it's C. It's because the number of persons is discrete. And by discrete, we're saying it cannot be represented or written in the form of a decimal. So that's what we have. I'm going to go to the next part of our question, which is now our question 4.1.4. Write down the amount each person will receive if only 3 people are working on the job. So 3 people, we see that 3 people is here. So obviously, we can go to our 3 people, which is here. And then we go up to see where we're going to have our cave of it. So it's going to touch the cave here at this point that we are aiming at. We are now at 4,000. So it means our answer is 4,000 rands. So 4,000 rands becomes our answer. So basically, I say on our question, which is 4.1.4. 4.1.4. And we are saying our answer is 4,000 rands. So going to the next question, say, explain why the line is a curve in relation to the two variables. Explain why the line is a curve in relation to the two variables. So you see that why it is a curve is because the amount shared by workers cannot be equal to 0. So you see that is a curve because we are seeing that the curve is just not going to touch our horizontal axis. So if the curve touches our horizontal axis, what it means is that the amount that's going to be shared will be 0. Yeah, will be 0. Remember, we put amount of runs on the vertical axis. So if this curve touches the horizontal axis, we are going to see that our amount will be 0, which is not possible. That's why we're having a curve. So that's the reason why. So we can just try to put it down on another section and say 4.1.5. It's because the amount shared by workers cannot be equal to 0. Obviously, that's what falls in terms of 4.1 point 5. And going back to our questions, you see that 4.1.5. Uh, uh, so this one is a 4.1 point 5. And then we are saying on the next question that we are going to look at. Our next question is 4.2, and 4.2 reads Stanford works as a builder for 6.5 hours per day, excluding 30 minutes tea break and 1 hour lunch. He starts working at 07:30 in the morning. So on 4.2.1, we determine the time of day he leaves work for home. So obviously we are seeing that the starting time is 07:30, but the period that is going to spend on the week, we see that we've got 6.5 hours per day. And also, we've got 30 minutes that are for break. And also, we have 1 hour for lunch. So basically, we are just going to combine those by saying 6.5 hours plus 30 minutes is 0.5 hours. Say half an hour, so 0.5 as a decimal. And then we also add the 1 hour for lunch. And then from there, we can be able to see how many hours we have. So you see that from there, you are going to get your 8 hours. So this one is 1 hour. And the total that you're going to get is 8 hours. So it means a set for the work for 8 hours. That is working time plus the break time and the lunch time. You get your 8 hours. So we are seeing that the starting time is 07:30, and we add our 8 hours. It's our 8 hours, 0 minutes. So you can get our answer is, if you add there, you'll see that here you're going to get your 30. And here you're going to get 8 plus 7, you're going to get your 15. So it means that's when we are using the time of leaving work, which is going to be 15:30. So that's what we have on 4.2.1. Then 4.2.2, Stanford calculated that 245.37 bags of cement are required for a job. His manager states that they need to purchase 246 bags. Then explain why the manager's statement is correct. So we are seeing that we have got 245.37 bags, but the number of bags are being regarded as 246, which means this 245.37 was rounded off to the nearest whole number. That's why we are having 246. And the reason being that bags of cement, we cannot regard them as a fraction. So obviously we have to round up our response. So 4.2.2, we are saying the number of bags is being rounded up. That can be the answer that we can provide in terms of 4.2.2. So we are saying 4.2.2. And we're saying the number of bags being rounded up. And the reason being, there's no fraction of a bag of cement in the shop. So we cannot present our bags as a fraction. So that's the reason why we're rounding up. So we go to the next question that we have. Uh, it took the workers 207 hours to finish the job, right? The 207 hours in terms of days and hours. So obviously, we try to make some calculations by saying we have 207 hours, but we know that for us to create a day, we should have 24 hours. So if you say 24 hours into 207, we are going to get the number of days that we have out of 207. So basically, we can say 24, 207 is a numerator divided by 24 hours. And you see that 258.65 days. So we can just see that one is our response, whereby we are saying 8.625. And this is days. So in other words, we have got 8 full days. And then the other part is a fraction, whereby you're saying it's 0.625 day. So this is a fraction of a day. So basically, our answer is to leave it in days and hours. So we have to convert this 0.625 into hours. So basically, we know that we have 24 hours in a day. So to get the fraction of 0.625 as in number of hours, we are going to say 0.625, and then we multiply by 24 hours in a day. And you see that the answer that we are going to get is going to be 15 hours. So in that sense, we can now see that our final answer, we are saying therefore, it is equal to, we got 8 days and 15 hours. So we are saying 8 days and 15 hours. 8 days and 15 hours. So this is basically what we have according to 4.1.3. So this becomes the last part of our question. So thank you for listening. And please, let's subscribe and share to our channel. Let's share the link to our colleagues who are doing grade 10 mathematical literacy. More typical explanation questions will be uploaded on this channel. So let's get notified. Let's subscribe. Let's turn on the notification button so that you get notified of new uploads. That's for this video. I'm signing out. Let's meet again in the next video.